Hello and welcome once again to another edition of IFN News. It's day 4 of the Old Bailey trial and it's still at the number 1 court, but only for today. Tomorrow it's going to be court number 7. Regina v Fellows continues. This morning was very much more interesting. There was a video link to South Africa where Ian Greer gave his deposition and of course was cross-examined as well. While they were setting up the video link, there was a difficulty for Mr. Greer being able to actually see the counsel for defence. And suddenly, he made the comment, that's it, I can see you now in your full glory." To which the Queen's counsel swiftly replied, "I think you're about the only person in 27 years that said that to me, Mr. Greer." Brought a few titters throughout the courtroom, but then straight on to business. Ian Greer has been solid in his position that Ken Clarke Mp had no dealings, had no visits, and certainly didn't visit their offices in Whitehall. He further went on to say that he insisted there'd been no impropriety in his offices, as claimed. However, true to his colourful character, he lit up the courtroom with a surprise statement that Ben Fellows had in fact met him. Not with cash to close the dealings, but an envelope with the contract to start the research part of the project, and then capped it all by saying, and I quote, "This is wonderful. We should have a drink together," and then described Ben propositioning him with an offer that was politely declined. A wrecking ball to his former associate's court statements, and in stark contradiction to those given by the Cook team. The case continues tomorrow. And another IFN Extra today. Once again, we're joined by Deborah Williams of the Kent Freedom Movement. Deborah, welcome to the show.
Hello, once again.
Right, now I'd like to draw your attention to the last statements that were read out, and they were actually also in an interesting procedure in the court. They were acted out. They were acted out by the Queen's Counsel for Prosecution and by the assistant detective who took the statement down from Ben Fellows at the Belgravia police station. So what they actually did was they took parts to read out. One was Ben, and obviously one was the officer in question. Yeah. Did you pick up anything on that?
Yes, I did. I was listening to that quite intently, and I picked out, and it sort of relates something to do with what Sylvia Jones was saying yesterday. It came up that there was another episode of the Cook Report. It was. I can't remember the full name, but it was on immigration.
Oh right, was it number 11? It was Cook Report.
That's
number
right.
11.
Yeah, number 11. Yeah. And today we heard a part of Ben's statement where he was saying that he actually took out another contract with the Cook Report. This was after this experience with Ian Greer's office. That he took, took out another contract.
They re-engaged him.
Re-engaged him basically in this immigration, and I just thought that was strange because he, after this his alleged experience with in Ian Greer's office, and he apparently told Sylvia Jones, and all the other crew, Richard, Jeffs, I believe his name is, and they didn't do anything about his. What he'd said, what had happened in Ian Greer's office.
That's right.
So I just think it was a bit strange that he took out another contract with them.
Well, it does really. It's sort of like almost like it never happened, I suppose.
Yeah.
Really. Yeah.
And funny enough, he did say that. He said it was never mentioned again in his statement.
But what is interesting, if we go back to the beginning, back to the statement given by Ian Greer, I mean, how does that sound out? I mean, it was completely against the grain of what was said on Monday and Tuesday. There was a massive wall of defence against anything happening at all, and all the descriptions of whether or not Ben met anyone, whether he in fact met Ian Greer on the premises, their offices. This is all in denial, and wasn't it strange? I mean, Ian Greer made it quite clear, and he made something else quite clear too, didn't he? What did he make clear about Ben's appearance? What you mean when he was asking how he thought Ben was playing a gay man? That's right, yeah. Yeah. He said that it was pretty obvious to him that both him and Richard were gay by their mannerisms, the way they acted together, and also Ben's mannerisms on his own. He felt that he understood them to be gay, like a gay couple. So he did in fact project what he was asked to do, despite the fact that obviously Sylvia Jones and the rest of the crew had said no, not at all, no part playing whatsoever. I mean, if I remember rightly, when he was guesting people through to the apartment, did he not talk to them in the lift? He spoke to them about his age, and I believe they asked him which school he went to. So that must have been deliberately designed to draw their attention to what his age was supposed to be in that part.
I would have thought so, yes.
So it does really tend to corroborate. So Ian Greer, at least, does tend to corroborate those facts.
That's right, indeed.
So what other observations have you got?
I'm trying to think. No, I can't think of anything.
Well, I must say, one of the ones that really surprised me was, of course, DCI Settle. What an interesting character he was. When he was presented by the QC for the prosecution, he was introduced, he described his position, and he had no connection at all to do any of the paedophile or abuse departments, nothing of the kind. He was to do with establishment figures, and it was in his interest and experience to look after them. So he then comes along to where the establishment is under fire and is asked to head up a team to deal with that. And I thought that was very interesting too, because the interview that was taking place between him and Ben Fellows was recorded by Ben Fellows, and of course it's out there on the internet for everybody to see, and it was quite clear he was trying to say things like, I'm talking to you not as a copper. And he was trying to distance himself from what his actual role was. Is it possible to do that, says the QC for defence, you know?
Of course, yeah.
And he argued the toss about that. So what do you think was coming out of that?
What do you think he meant by I'm saying this is not as a copper?
I mean, he is.
Well, it's usually to when people do that sort of thing, it's usually to put people's defences down, so they're more liable to say something that they wouldn't have normally said. Yeah. It's almost like a trap.
That's right. So on the one side, he's trying to come out as the neutral cop with a lot of experience, but no experience in dealing with this side of things, only protecting establishment figures.
Yeah.
So they've chosen him. And then when he interviewed Ken Clarke, there was a bit of a surprise about that interview, wasn't there?
How do you mean? Sorry.
Well, I think Mr. Clarke had it recorded.
Oh, that's right. Yes, yes, yes.
Right,
I did think that was quite comical.
And so clearly, was he happy about that?
No, he wasn't happy. No,
he
was quite surprised. Yeah.
I wonder what was on the rest of that tape. I mean, was there something there perhaps that might appear later on? Who knows?
No,
so we're going to have to keep watching this case rather closely, aren't we?
Yeah, it's a very interesting case indeed.
Yeah, Deborah, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you.
We'll keep watching, and we'll have some more future updates on this. From RFN, thank you very much.
Thank you.
From the team and myself, thanks for joining us today.